With this film, one of the things I really wanted to hit on was that theme of how we connect with people we can't see. And as this past year has shown us, a lot of the time when you're alone and struggling and, the days seem to be the same over and over and over again, we can fall into this kind of apathetic state where we don't really care about what's next. We're just going to keep doing what we are doing without changing anything because nothing's going to change. I wanted there to be that catalyst in the film where Elizabeth goes from this person who has no real connection and actually realizes that sitting around and doing nothing is not really achieving what she wants and what she truly needs as a character.
What helped me get into the headspace the most, I listened to the recording of my parents just like on loop and just trying to think of what phrases they'd said to me before. Because the character of Elizabeth, she listens to that every night as well. So just trying to be able to place myself in familiar voices that aren't just my robot friend Sam's.
I was super stressed before we actually were shooting, but once we started shooting and I saw what we were doing and I saw Elizabeth acting and I just everything was coming together, I was soothed. But there is a distinctive memory I have when we were in Kitty Hawk and you got this tracking shot of her. It was one of the first shots that you did the whole day too. And it was a shot of her walking and it was following her footsteps and then panned up to her. And I remember watching it back and being that looks so good. That is going to be amazing.
Whether it was a product of the time that it was that it was made in, it extends sort of beyond that, the short film itself, but also the meaning of the filming of it. I genuinely felt like I was being kind. I felt like I was being a nice person, and then I was sort of recontextualizing that and what that means, and sort of thinking that doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, the true motivation of the character comes out. All the different crew members in the same small room, and I was also there, despite the fact that I wasn't in the shot, just saying something. I think having that connection with her, having knowledge of the surroundings, made the feeling of isolation in the entire short film, I think it made that a lot better.
My favorite experience on set, I think, although it featured my own discomfort, probably when I ate all the beans. Mostly because I knew that everybody else was so crowded around. We tried to, keep a limited amount of people in the storage container because everybody was shuffling around. But in that moment, I felt like every single person on set was there. I think the difference between the serious moment that it was supposed to be for me and the obvious laughter that was coming from everybody else, I think made that pretty funny. So,
nice.
Yeah.
One of the first things that came to mind was storage container, and being able to have this space that we could financially rent and be able to afford, but also have it in an environment we could control. The long angle view we got down the thin storage unit that we got to use. I like the kind of the challenge and the constraint of that, filming for filming wise, and making the set look like a space that one person could actually live in and spend time in. And so kind of working with that thin amount of space was a lot of fun.
Shooting it anamorphic was one of the key things that I wanted to do when approaching the film, because I wanted to make it feel much, much bigger. The distinction between what's inside and what's outside, I wanted it to feel even bigger than it already was. I think it made the outside, desert, so much more desolate. And in some ways, the inside of her, container, inside of her storage, box, feel even more squished, because the stuff around her was even more compressing than it would have otherwise been. The past year was hard for all of us. And I think one thing I wanted to get across was that as long as we keep moving forward and keep, doing new things and trying to connect with people and trying to go to those people that we love and that mean a lot to us, I think things will turn out and be good, hopefully, in the end.
We got it. Oh. Is that a wrap? Woo! Is that a wrap? That's a wrap. Oh my God.
Yes! Thank God! It's a wrap!
Let's go. Not leave. Let's not leave. What is that? That's a wrap.
Yes! It's a wrap!
Woo!